You know we're not allowed to do that signal.
Nobody sees that part anyways.
I don't even know
fine.
what that's called. I just know Steve McNair used to do it.
Oh, we can't do that. Absolutely not.
He's been dead 10 years. All right.
Oh, that's right. He died
10 years ago.
I forgot about that. He got shot, huh?
Did he?
Didn't he get shot? Oh, great. We're right off the bat not knowing what the hell we're talking about.
I know. We're all mixed up because we got to get a hottie toddy to really get you going. What? Yeah. Hashtag girthy ROI, hashtag 69 B2B. Reciprocate that love to your friends' businesses out there. Like Tampaniac Pictures.
Pop pictures.
And Behind the Glass producing today.
Let's see if he turns his mic on. He won't.
Thanks, guys.
There he is. Good
Killing
job.
It. Doing real great.
Really good. How's your little list going there, buddy?
My rundown?
Your rundown.
I printed it on the Bluetooth paper to see if it shows up, how this would print out, and then it can populate on my LiveScribe notebook. So anybody out there, I blew someone's mind that I've definitely shown this pen to before, but now the app has gotten a lot better with the pen, and in real time I can draw anything on the notebook paper, and it'll populate as I'm doing it.
I stopped listening after you said you blew someone.
I blew someone. I blew a trucker, and I was showing him about how to use this Bluetooth pen in the cabin. He invited me in. Those Flying J's, they're not just gas stations.
Steve McNair was shot to death.
Yeah?
Big time.
What was he doing?
Laying there with bullets in him, I guess.
Was he hanging out after 10 p.m.? Because, nothing good happens after 10 p.m.
I want to say, and rather than scroll down further to find out what really happens, I think he was on a couch, and there was some kind of domestic issue, and... Pop, 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 pop.
Yeah, domestic issues
Air
are
McNair.
The number one, scary thing, like the worst thing for a cop to be called on.
Yeah.
Because they always end up something bad happens.
Yeah, because that's when the crazy comes out. When there's love and sex involved.
Emotions, that's why we're human. We're not perfect.
Did you come in it?
Speaking of
it's the first thing the cops ask.
Yeah.
Did you come in it?
No.
And then they ask for your ID.
Now what's the problem here?
And you're like, in what? You're like,
I have a flat tire.
Glove compartment? That's a good shot. So, anything on your mind? You were telling me about a thrilling podcast.
Oh, my Intuit QuickBooks stuff.
Intuit QuickBooks.
Well, if anything...
Or Intuit that owns QuickBooks, TurboTax.
Yeah, it was a public service announcement
Mint.com.
idea. Just because we listened to a podcast, my wife and I, about how Intuit, when the government made a rule that they decided they were going to allow people to file their taxes online, but it was going to be free, and they shopped it out to a bunch of different online companies that did that stuff. Intuit ended up getting most of the business, I guess, and now these days they had taken the free tax service that they offered and buried it on the internet, and then also created a free, a TurboTax Freedom thing that made it seem like it was going to be free, but it never was. But they still offered the other one, you just couldn't find it. And then whatever dude on Gimbal Media tracked it down, and then
listened
they
to
got
a Gimbal Media,
dude. That's all.
After they rejected us.
Imagine if I talked like this every time I said a sentence.
There is
over
that
and over
weird NPR.
They all do it. It drives me fucking.
Ira
I can't
Glass
do it. Yeah,
style. They're all trying to do Ira Glass.
I'm PJ Fart Face, whatever his name is. I don't remember.
You know PJ?
PJ.
PJ Fart
Get out
Face.
of here with that.
You mean
But
DJ
anyways,
Fartface.
there's
DJ Fartface.
there is free tax options out there, and I think since they did that expose, they were able to make it more easily accessible. There's something to do with recent legislature that actual article that was written about it got it overturned. So if you don't have a lot of money and you need to file your taxes, you should be able to find it online somewhere.
I've done TurboTax on my own, I also think it's like one of the best products out there. Like for what I use that as like a shorthand a lot of
Right.
times when we're talking about ops and stuff, because what they've done, TurboTax, even though they've done this kind of nefarious thing and have a lot of upsell to it, it still you can still do your taxes. I know on the state level, like Florida or Texas or whatever, you still get that for free on there.
Well, I mean,
There's one part that's free.
the
Federal,
state for us is there is no income tax,
but they don't
so that's
they don't
easy.
charge you to use the software. Is what I'm
Right,
saying.
yeah.
As a service, it's called SaaS, software as a service.
Well, now that is more easily accessible
and
than it
so
used to be.
The charge is nominal to me doing the taxes because it saved me so much time. And it's
Yeah.
really just one big decision tree that your accountant does with you anyway.
Right.
But someone sat down and broke down that decision tree.
Scott Nelson McKay, CPA, check him out.
I would give mine a shout out, but I don't know his
Firm.
I forget the firm name because it's really long. It's a lot of guys. It's like 3 old dude names. But I would say that LegalZoom did the same thing.
Yeah.
And so it's the same idea, but that is crazy that you should have that offering, and the government's probably too far behind to restrict what they were doing.
Well,
We're
I
probably
mean,
5 steps behind.
we're the only country in the world that makes it this hard. Like Australia takes like 10 minutes. Lots of countries have their
but they're
employers
fucking
doing
full
it
of
for
criminals and shit.
Australia's pretty cool these days.
They got criminal genetics though. I'm not comparing us to Australia.
I got criminal genetics, bro.
Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a white power joke, but you.
That's not funny. Another easy segue about my Hatfield heritage. My great-great-grandfather's Devil Anse Hatfield.
dovetails right into it. You're part of that.
There's not much else to
You're
add
part
to
of that
it.
history, man. Be
Yeah.
proud.
I am.
It's not
Loud and
It's
proud.
not hate. It's heritage.
At least we were on the winning side, not them pussy
I don't even
Mongols.
remember the story. I told you I tried to listen to Time Suck episode about it, and it was like
I don't know the story like I should.
good.
There was a pig involved, and there was a woman. Like one of the Hatfield boys was hooking up with a McCoy girl, and so I don't remember.
Pig was watching.
And then like the only
The
person
pig was
who
the original cuck.
And then they like had some guy who was like mentally slowed, who was the only one who got
We call it
any
touched
sort of
back in the
yes,
day.
who was the only one who was prosecuted for anything. They wanted blood, and that's what they did.
Man, if there's not
Crazy.
bestiality in this story,
I said there was a pig.
You sure as hell just made it sound like there was. Trying to walk around that.
No, I don't know for
Our
sure. I don't
lineage
think
is
there
about
was.
pig fucking.
I don't think it was a point of contention. Not saying they didn't do it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's cold.
I don't think that was
in
the
those
big
coal
deal.
mining hills.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
lots of coal in my nail.
You got black lung and everything. All right. So you got. That's all you know about it.
I mean, yeah. I watched the Kevin Costner miniseries thing. I forgot it.
On Paramount Network.
No, it was good. That was
That's
actually
Yellowstone.
a pretty fun one.
But
It's weird watching it with like a team to root for. You
yeah,
know, most people watch it as like informational.
yeah. You watch like Dances with Wolves, and you're going for white people, right?
Or like, some redneck watching Gettysburg. Doesn't know the ending.
Or Glory.
Yeah.
Come on, South.
I think we got
I
this.
bet on you.
I think we got this.
Glory. Have you seen Glory in a while?
I don't think I've ever seen Glory.
Oof. That's when you got to watch once and then kind of never again.
Yeah, I'm not really into those Schindler's List types where it's like you
It's
have
not-
to watch it.
It's not
It's
that
history.
It's pretty just gruesome. That's all. Which
Yeah,
can get
it's
you.
not-
That can be the lead in to get you into one. Of
I
those
don't
movies.
know. I'm not into gore and gruesomeness.
What are you into?
Just mostly porn.
Yeah,
Mostly.
gore porn. Al Gore.
Tentacle
Al
porn.
Gore porn. Mostly.
Wish I knew how to do an Al Gore impersonation.
Lockbox. But yeah. So Pornhub is
Oh yeah,
main.
sure.
I mean, I didn't know if you're a
Definitely.
browsers guy. You got your own account. What are we talking?
No, I don't know. The only person I know who's ever paid for it is on the other side of the glass, John Paul Labadie.
Whoa, he peeked out too, so I could see his
Yeah, he
face.
knew I was going to talk about him.
It was like perfect timing. He's like, "Hello."
As soon as he was like, "Oh, dude, you can use my password." I was like, "What are you talking
Password?
about? You pay?"
Someone has to, right?
Somebody's doing it.
Right.
We know who.
And we probably have a lot of friends that secretly do, but it takes a certain kind of moxie to to talk about having that.
Well, I mean, think of what would we do if they all got together and be like, let's just charge them now. Some other creepy website would just pop up.
They probably. I mean, that's just business. After a while, you can't like.
But we're so conditioned to the free porn.
Well, I mean, would be a similar strategy, right?
Yeah.
They basically own the internet, so presumably Pornhub owns a lot of the share online. I don't know.
I think it's like the number 10 most used website.
Yeah, and I love what was the HBO show with Mike Judge? God damn it!
Oh, Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Well,
I love how they would kind of put in there, weave in and out of episodes about how the porn side of everything online basically advances technology.
Yeah, it drives it. Yeah,
for everything.
Well, it's always like, oh, we have this new technology, but we don't really know what we can use it for. And there's a guy from the porn industry in the corner being like, I know what we can use it for.
Hey guys, I've been waiting for you.
Dirty Ronnie's talking again.
Hello.
Dirty Mike and the boys.
Any insight on that, John Paul?
He doesn't want to pipe up. Pipe in. Stab in. Give us some info. He's not.
I'm on a delay.
I know, but
know.
it was
It's
10
hard
minutes
to
ago.
talk.
Which porn site were you paying for?
That was a long time ago. I don't remember.
Yes, you do. You still have it, too, don't you?
I like the part about how much moxie I have
You got it,
for
kid.
telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, we're very open in our relationships.
I'll use a
around
word
here.
from 07. You got a lot of swagger, kid.
Thanks, bud.
That's the wrong one, but you get it.
Wow.
What's the point of your little list there if you don't have anything to talk about?
Oh, I got something to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I was just we're just vamping, man. We're just shooting the shit.
Just classic.
Yeah, we're just tossing
Flaccid.
around, just throwing some flaccid topics out there. So I kind of hate and love that one meme that's been passed around to everybody that's worked in an office environment or a white collar kind of place. You're on a computer most of the day kind of place. The meme that the top or it's 10 things that require zero talent.
Uh-huh.
Show
up on time.
You've seen it on your feed, right?
Yeah.
I feel like
I do all that shit already. Give me some new information.
Right, and it's like, so I kind of love that because it's right.
Yeah.
I was trying to write a blog post about this,
Right.
but like kind of in our kind of way of being a little bit more pragmatic and kind of funny about it. Kind of. So I was trying to write 10 additional ones because that's not enough. I'm gonna read them out loud.
Oh, I thought you were doing one for like the podcast rules.
I've got those too. We might
okay.
do that in another episode.
Okay.
That's more about like that's more like just about podcasting in general.
Right. Okay.
This was another list I had, but you've seen this list. John Paul, have you seen this? I want to get a litmus test. I don't know. I feel like everybody has seen this meme of some sort passed around once.
All right. Read it off for us. What are the top 10 things that require no talent?
Zero talent, being on time, work ethic, effort, body language, energy, attitude, passion, being coachable, doing extra, and being prepared.
Yes, those are all very good.
So I was thinking about that. I've been wanting to write. I'm trying to get back into writing a lot more and making myself sit down and do it for an hour and see where it takes me.
It's good for your brain, even if nothing comes from it.
It's really good, actually. It actually helps with a lot of other things when I weave it into my morning routine for just 20 minutes. Like,
it's a weird thing that you're like activating a different part that then helps the other parts of your brain, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
By
we talk
muscle
about
confusion or something.
Working out in the morning sets you up to be better prepared the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's like a mental workout.
Right. So
good.
What I used to do when I was trying to do a writing exercise for stand-up, and I'm kind of doing it now, is get a legal pad out in the middle, write a premise, and then write how I can get to that premise, and then write tags after so we'll bring up
how to get to the premise or how to get to a punchline.
How to get to that that idea. So I'll have an idea, right? I'll write it
so
down.
it's kind of the same thing the way we're talking about it.
Yeah.
The premise and the punchline.
Well,
the idea
no,
for the joke.
Yeah.
What
so
is the
We'll
joke?
bring up something on here. I'll write it down as something that's kind of funny for stage, but it's just usually like one line.
Yeah.
And you got to build around that. So
I gotcha.
I write it in the middle of the page, and then I'll try to, how did we get to here? Try to write something about that, and then I'll try to write after the punchline what the tags are, the other points of view in the room kind of thing.
It's very similar to Chappelle and then I kicked her in the pussy. His like closing joke for one of his 15 stand-ups that he's done in the last 3 years, where it's like he has like a jar of premises,
Right.
and he'll just pull that out, or like the punchline.
Oh, that's one of the most impressive things.
Right.
He goes, I'm going to tell you that these are throwaways,
yeah.
basically, or whatever he says. He's like, this is like trash.
Oh, it's like the way and it was his closing joke. It was the last thing he did too.
But that's like,
that's Dave Chappelle. Like, might be the greatest of all
he's
time.
so good
Like,
that he can call a shot.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
And so
he's the Babe Ruth of.
He's And I used to say pussy juice a lot as something funny to say, and now I feel like people think I'm copying that.
He owns it.
He owns it now. I can't use it. Same with I saw another joke that I've done forever. When I first started stand up on Family Guy the other night, I was like, well, there goes that. I can't
Probably good if it was.
Yeah, it's not.
Family Guy.
It's just parallel thinking. So, these aren't that big of a deal. Being on time, work ethic, effort, body language, energy, attitude, passion, being coachable, doing extra, being prepared. Pretty
Yes.
simple, right? You've managed some people. How many people hit all 10?
Very few.
Very few.
It's weird though. It's like
I wouldn't say I hit all 10 either, by the way.
yeah. I mean, it's a thing where it's like I wonder if people think like you and I were like we do that. You know, it's like we think we do it, and then somebody tries to tell it, and you're like, shut the fuck up. I don't even need to hear that.
Well, all right. So I tried to find the original meme, and one thing that was super funny, that was like the third thing on Reddit. When I went to a Reddit link, it had this posted. The third thing down was like, well, I'm autistic, so number 4, body language, that's going to be a pretty tough one. For
Right.
me.
Yeah. It's like, what do you mean body language?
She's like, I'm going to have to really perfect that.
And then it's like, oh, well, we both have resting bitch face too. So it's
Yeah.
like
I was
maybe
gonna
we
say-
don't have it all.
Yeah, even if I'm not in a bad mood, I'll be thinking about like next thing to do or to-do list usually, and it's kind of like, it just looks like I'm pissed. But
Right. If I'm doing anything where I'm working with my hands or anything.
But what if we were fucking Giacomos that were fucking walking around with a stone smile
I
on
know.
their face
You
all
look like
day?
an idiot.
You look dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather look angry and unapproachable.
Right.
But you get us in a room,
We're kind of nice.
we're kind of nice if you're nice to us. So I try to write like in our kind of brand message of we want to get pragmatic business advice, but a little tongue in cheek, dick jokey kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to think of all the things I try to tell people to do if I have a independent contractor I'm hiring, and I'm like, hey, I can't tell you what to do because I'm technically not your boss, but here's something that someone told me that could help you out, maybe,
Right.
right? So
Just a little nudge.
here's my
Let's
10 to add, and so I'm titling this like
Just making sure that like,
yeah, is that
feed
warmed
the
up?
crickets.
Is that
Gotta
warmed up?
Feed the crickets.
The crickets warmed up. All right. 10 things that will retain your zero status. That's what I'm trying to call it.
Zero status being like
You're a zero. The original one's called 10 things that require zero talent. I'm trying to write something that says 10 things that'll keep you at a fucking zero. You zero.
zero in a good way.
Yeah, I'm kind of being mean in this one. So, number 1, write shit down.
Yes, that's a great one.
We're gonna break these down because I want to
Yes.
go through them with you.
Yeah, I write everything down to a fault. I got
The-
a bunch of shit around, like I have no idea what it means.
I write everything down, even if you don't use it. Right?
Yeah.
Like even if you're scattered everywhere, I think you retain it like 30% more. Most people's memory will retain anything they write down.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, the three of us still send each other like sketch ideas.
Yeah.
We haven't shot a sketch in 4 years, but we're still doing it just because it could lead to something. You never know where it's going to go.
Part of, and this is kind of a sub under know what you don't know. Know yourself, or know what you don't know. Know that you don't have I don't have a good like memory for. I have a weird selective memory for some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
And so like, if someone was like, oh, here's a great example. You ever give directions to someone now driving?
Yeah. By the way,
It doesn't have
Get
an
up on that
address.
mic, Law.
Sorry.
it's your first day.
Yeah.
Talk into it.
Sorry.
You gave us direct. You were like, "There's a thing down in Ybor." This is side
I thought
side
about
note.
it. I thought about this as I was typing.
and
that.
you're like, "If you come from the east, you'll be fine." And
wanted
if I had come from the east, I would have been fucked.
you can't.
You meant
I
the
meant,
west.
I meant west. I got.
I know you mean west.
Yeah.
Now,
Well.
but it's a bit kind
It's
of a
'cause our
big
period-
mistake to make.
I know. I was doing too many things at once. That's
If you do the complete opposite of what I say and also not
actually
acknowledge it.
technically I'm correct, but because
Oh, you mean if I went around the world?
all the way around that parade or whatever.
I drove all the way around the earth
Yeah.
and came from the east.
Technically, I'm still correct.
No,
Uh,
I don't think that still works.
no,
actually,
I know.
It'd still be
no, I
west.
fucked that up. That's my bad.
It's a good thing I
It's on
ignore
the
most
list.
of the things you say.
Part that whole exchange right now, mostly on this thing. Seriously, because look,
it
I
down.
fucked up.
Good.
I need to apologize for it.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I led you all down a bad path,
what is happening?
but I
right
don't
now?
need to overly apologize, right?
Right.
If I overly apologize, there's something weird about that.
right.
So we'll get to that. Write shit down. I got two things about writing shit down. To-do list in the morning. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. Even if you do a task manager online, an app, like write.
Address it.
Just
Just
I
go
I
to
think
it.
it's better
Look
to,
at it.
I think it's better to use that as like, here's an organized view of everything. But I still think you should write stuff down. Keep that. Look, you want to be a fucking nerd about it, like I do. I'm gonna get back to this. It's just keeping this pen in my pocket at all time, and I have like a Bluetooth Post-it or like a thing that fits in my back pocket.
Right.
It looks like I could write parking tickets with it. Basically, that's what it looks like. So
Yeah.
you got a little flip,
Pretty cool.
put a little badge in there.
Yeah.
Looking fucking cool. But I need to keep that on me. I used to keep that on me like a waiter at all times. The good waiters, not the waiters that go. Oh,
I'll remember it.
I'm a professional waiter.
I'll remember it.
I'll remember it.
You had chicken piccata. You had chicken cordon bleu. You had this filet. You had the, and then they know it, and then you look stupid.
Why risk it? I always wonder. Like, no one's impressed by that.
I tip
Really?
them more. I tip
It's
them
like,
more.
meh.
I
It's
know.
like someone showing you a card trick. You're like, okay,
Oh, that's good for you. How long did that take to learn?
but what's the risk reward on that when you fuck up?
Yeah. Like, damn it.
Just drop
Hold
a
on,
bunch of
just
cards everywhere.
Pretend like that didn't happen.
Someone's got a food allergy you forgot about. you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right. The second.
But
part,
it takes a long time to write all that shit down if you are writing it, unless it's one of those things at like Denny's where they just circle what you're getting on the pre-printed pad.
well, that has pictures on it, but
That's what I'm saying. But if you're writing it down, like
no, I'm
you
saying
still-
you
it
can-
takes time.
You can shorthand.
You know, waiters aren't cooked. They got things to do. They got to move it along fast.
Look, I'm just saying. There's a lot out there. A lot of people out there. I'm using that as an example. Not everybody. I'm saying like most people do not have that kind of memory.
Yeah.
And they don't work on it either. I think you can work on stuff like that, but I think it. I don't see the cost benefit of really doing it unless you are that much quicker.
Yeah.
Right. The other part of writing shit down is if your superior is telling you to do something, get a pen and a pad out, write that shit down. Even if, like, look as if, right?
Yeah. It's the same way where it's like, hey, we're having this party in a month. Even though you know you're not going to go, I'll still pretend to put it in my calendar. Or I'll actually put it in my calendar so
Yeah,
I know not to text that person and be like, hey, what are you doing today?
You're telling me
Oh,
about
my
your
party
kids
today?
I don't know. I've never met.
Hmm?
I'm out. I'm not listening to that story.
Oh,
But
right.
I'm going to look interested, right?
Right.
All right. So write shit down's number one for me. Number two, Google before asking,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's the best. I've told this story before on this podcast, but it's one of the best things I ever learned with like my first real job. I worked at a mutual fund company in Santa Monica, first job out of college. It's called Dimensional. They made their own mutual funds, index funds. Super boring. I'm not going to go down that route. But I was a grunt for like 20 dudes, right?
Mhm.
In my department. And
Did you come in?
I had to
Right,
do a
for
lot.
20 dudes.
I had to learn a lot of Excel before, like, there's a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube. There's a lot. This is
Right.
like 06, 07.
Right.
And so you kind of had to, like, read a book or, like, find a website that laid it all out.
Yeah.
It wasn't as easy sometimes. So I would learn how to do stuff in Excel and not write it down, which is
Right.
stupid. And then secondly, I had that bad habit of asking everybody for help before even just trying it on my own.
Right. That's something that's like institutionalized into your like. My kids are that way. Daddy, can you get me water? Not even thinking about doing it themselves. That's their first thing.
You'll catch me too. I'm not.
I do it too.
I wrote all of these to write them to myself.
Oh yeah,
By the
yeah.
way. I should preface this whole list.
Yes, we do. All we
I'm talking
don't do
shit.
these things. Yeah, we
Right.
do. We're just as guilty as of not doing these things as anybody else. But we're very aware when it happens. Like if I ask you something without doing it, and I'm like, I shouldn't even.
I talk shit
Like,
to
I'm
myself in this voice that I'm writing it in, as like a
Idiot.
football coach almost.
Yeah.
Because these are like negative reinforcement is good for this. So, like John Paul just asked for something on Slack. I was like, the Wi-Fi password. And I was like, just search Slack.
Newsflash, asshole!
I'm the dick, though. I get it. I'm the dick because I'm not going to go the extra effort to find it in Slack.
No, I mean, yeah, we had another situation just the other day. Or I was like, search that shit. Don't. What are you asking me to resend things that I've sent to you twice already? And I know it's in your inbox, bro.
Right. I don't want to take your time. What I found out, so the best part about that, learning that in 06 at that job was I asked, I think it was my buddy Sean Shannon or Joe Chrisman, I can't remember, but one of those two guys. And I was like, hey, how do you do that VLOOKUP thing, that formula to kind of populate stuff? And he's like, oh, cool. Let me show you. And he came over to my computer, typed in Google, and he's like, and then he got in my face and was like, look it up your fucking self. And then I was like, oh. And everybody heard it.
Dude,
We had
yeah.
an open office area.
It's the same, like, the
15
same thing
people
as,
like,
like,
fuck!
you know, like when your dad calls you a pussy for the first time, you know, for when you deserve it. And you're like, okay.
We're almost there for that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, that I kind of get that now. Like, you know, you need that every once in a while.
Yeah, that's my
I
actual.
want to make it
I'll
clear
jump-
my dad wasn't calling me a pussy 24 hours a day, but
Just now
there was
he
something I
does.
was bitching about, you know, when I'm like 16. He's like,
Yeah.
"Quit being such a bitch."
Right, right.
Like, oh shit, okay.
That's
yeah.
why you need guy friends. I don't trust that guy that's only has women as
Only- yeah.
friends, or vice versa.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah.
You need that. You need that same sex of friends to call you out on your shit.
Yes.
That I'll jump to that number 4. Internalize criticism.
Yeah.
Don't be a little baby bitch.
Right.
I need
Yeah.
to. I need to rewrite that one.
Well, don't. I mean,
But it's internalized.
yeah.
And really, every one of these has a lesson that is technically business related. Like I have this one is professional, not personal.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Right? Don't
you know,
take criticism. Hey, you were late to getting me this email.
Yeah. Don't go to defensive mode
But I
right
was-
away.
I said,
Right.
But
Lots of people they come up with their excuse or their retort before they think about, well, okay, is this person giving me advice that I can actually use, and like, are they really coming at me, and was it my fault? I mean, most of the time, you know, if somebody's to that point, you should probably just listen to it. You know, if they're saying something about it, it's like, fuck, that's been internalized on their end already for a while.
yeah, that's a preloaded excuse is interesting too. You ever do it where you're like, hey, you've been late and you didn't even finish the sentence?
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah," and it's like, hey, come on, I'm just telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
Please stop making this a habit.
Yeah. And act sorry.
So on the other side of that, if you want to internalize correctly, you always have to think of the other side, right? And so if a manager's telling you something, internalize that behavior. Is it actually happening? Probably, maybe. Even if it's not, your manager thinks it's happening.
Right.
Your boss,
And to a
whatever,
degree,
your client,
that perception is reality that matters.
right?
You know?
Right. So you need to figure that out. And look, not a lot of people are good very rare do you find good people that give a shit enough to take a management class,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So if you're like, my boss doesn't know shit, he probably doesn't.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't.
Yeah, they were probably doing your job not too long ago.
Right.
And said, hey, you want to be a manager?
So empathize with that part. I would strategize around that if you can. You know,
Mhm.
play up to that. Okay, you know, I've been in places where I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't know anything about this part of what I'm doing. I'll be so good about that, but I'm gonna write a playbook for him and say it's for other people that he can read it too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As a way of like, hey,
Give them an out.
yeah, you don't know about this. This is gonna make my job better,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
All right, so I'll
Don't
go-
forget you've skipped 3.
I skipped 3. You're an adult. Learn how to sleep. No one gives a shit about how little
Uh-huh.
sleep you got, Carol,
Exactly.
in accounting.
Right.
We don't care.
Unless you have a
That is a-
newborn baby,
Even then,
there's very few excuses for not sleeping. Like if you come to I have no sympathy for hangovers. Like if you're
Yeah, because you had
hungover-
fun on the front end of that.
right, exactly.
Presumably. Unless
I
you're
mean-
like Nicolas Cage and leaving Las Vegas.
Again, haven't seen it, but that sort of thing drives me fucking nuts. Where it's
I'm a
like,
prickly pear!
I'm gonna now feel bad for you
Right,
because
right.
of your fun time.
Right, especially when we're dad boners and we're going to sleep at 9 and like
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't want to fucking. I mean, it's a double whammy. You got to go out, and I had to stay home, and you're hungover, and I'm picking up your slack.
Now look,
Ugh.
if someone walks in your house every night and hits like 2 trash can lids together, old school cartoon style,
Yeah.
and you can't do anything about that, I'll feel bad for you.
Right. Other than that,
Around that-
how often does that happen?
Yeah, I'll feel bad for the baby if you have a baby, but if we're getting into year 5 of this baby, that's
Right.
not a baby anymore. Then look,
Yeah, the
and
sleep thing. That's an
that one
easy one.
I struggle with that one.
It's an easy one. Yeah, but
I can't shut my brain off. At
right,
night.
yours is a little bit different
It's hard, and
because you're not on a schedule that normal people are, on, and it doesn't. You don't have to be. Also,
I do and I don't. I know I need to be to get the best out of myself, kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's just like right now, what I got to do is right now not beat myself up if I don't do it 100%.
Yes.
Which that's what I do before
That's hard
I
to do.
feel guilty.
Just so you know, although I think we're gonna go
We're
long.
yeah, we're gonna go long. Number 5, put your fucking phone down.
Mm.
In your office. It's bad. It's just bad optics. Basically, it's kind of more of the general gist of this.
Uh-huh.
If I'm in an office, I'm a manager, I see my employees on their phone, usually not business,
All right.
right?
Yep.
Look, aside from like your realty setup kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
look, if we're doing the podcast, you can use the devices to, if it's not part cost of labor kind of thing,
Yeah.
like involved in what you're doing. If
Yeah.
you're a realtor and you're at a realty company, you're going to be checking your phone all the time
Yeah.
because you're in the relationship business.
Right.
Really. But as far as like, oh yeah, I'm doing work on my phone, but you're not,
and you have a computer in front of you
right?
or access to one.
Which is usual,
Yeah.
like white collar office space,
Sure.
place. Or if you're blue collar, right?
Sure. Works the same. Even more so, it's obvious then.
All the blue collar guys I'm friends with tell me about like that. That is an issue because that's their one computer too. So everything comes in. So you're a carpenter, like all your shit comes into that.
Yeah.
That is your everything technology wise.
Right.
And then also your crappy country music you're listening to too.
Yeah.
On Pandora or something. So put the phone away. I try to put mine outside when we're doing the podcast because I don't want it to be a distraction or airplane mode, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy too in a meeting or goddamn, like something where it's kind of professional
Yeah.
and the shit goes off.
Yeah.
There's something about that that's like being thoughtful, I think. Is
Yeah.
really
It's a
the lesson.
manners sort of just like
Be present.
Yeah. It's key and it's
So again, these aren't
it's got to
like,
be enforced too. It's
these,
like
these
there's
aren't
going to start being cell phone buckets, like at the key parties and stuff.
what's that?
Don't they do that? No,
It seems
Nothing?
like you got some insight.
nothing.
I was going to say big
Parties?
stand-up shows are doing that.
Key parties. Anybody?
Number 6, apologize correctly for your fuck-ups.
Yes.
Okay, so don't over-apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Don't under-apologize. You got to
Mhm.
find, like, if you really fucked up and it's on you
Mm-hmm.
and you're really struggling, you got to pull someone aside and be like, that is my bad.
Yeah. Apologies are weird because
Learn how to fucking apologize.
yeah,
number
there's
one.
not just I'm really sorry I did that. Is not the same as listen, I messed up. I'm sorry. Like, it won't happen again. I understand what I did wrong. Like, lots of apologies are, well, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry I did that, but like you were doing this thing that made me do that. And then like, ugh.
Yeah, we've all been there. If you're in a relationship,
Hard.
you will do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to, like, one of those things, if I'm talking relationship, not professional, but like if your significant other, you guys are fighting, most guys will apologize just to get out of that fight. Even though
I'm a
like,
great actor too.
you should stick to your guns. Your part of you's like, I don't know, I don't really believe this, and I don't want to apologize for it. But
right.
at any rate, in a working environment, a lot of people don't know how to apologize. A lot of people just think that it'll just go away. right?
Yeah. Well,
Now,
I mean, you
if
say
you're-
that it's
if
like
you're
it's
over apologizing though. Like I have a problem with that,
yes.
and that
That's a red flag just because it's like, wait,
it
did
feels
you do
anx-
something?
It
It's,
feels anxious to them, and I'm not anxious about it. I'm just to me, I thought that would be more of like transparent.
oh, I just think, wait, they
Be
seem
like,
to
sorry,
be
this
like,
is late. Blah 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 blah. And a lot of people are like, you don't have to send that. It's not even late. And you're like, but it's late for me.
yeah,
And they're like, they don't know that. That's your own standards.
yeah.
So shit like that.
But I mean, like we say it was relationships, but like you have relationships at work that are they can build up, resentment just as much as a
yeah.
personal relation, So
for
like,
sure.
yeah, just be a nice person.
But a lot of adults do not internalize and do not know how to apologize. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Right?
It's almost like the flip flopper thing,
What, you can't change your opinion on
Well, it's
anything?
just like it's just people dig their heels in, and they don't want to look stupid or like weak or something by apologizing.
Yeah, that's why I don't like people don't change, bro. And I'm like, well, if you keep perpetuating that, then maybe
Right,
they won't.
yeah, great.
I don't know. I think people do change. I think change is inevitable. I don't think they could. I don't think you can
absolutely
decide that
change.
much.
Yeah,
Like, there's just some things that will make you change.
yeah. Saying
Right.
people don't change is just
Just talk about
you're
health.
giving yourself an out to be lazy.
Just think about health reasons. Like you
You-
have to
you've
change your
gonna
lifestyle
change.
at some point.
Right.
All right. So that to me also that's part of this too. The whole gestalt, the whole gist of this is that that you can change. Right. You can
Sure.
change these habits. It's hard. Like
Yes.
the answers are simple. The behavior modification is difficult.
Yes, there's like you have to pull yourself to do it. I saw David Goggins talking about how
Ooh.
he pulls himself. It's a pull. You got to pull your ass out of bed,
Right.
not
right.
pushing to get it done.
Right. That's
Such
why
a
I put,
simple, stupid, like mental thing,
and
it's
you
like
get to
yeah,
not have to.
you get to pull yourself
get-
out of bed.
I'm an American. I
am the Pullout
get to run my own business.
Right.
I have a lot of hours in the day. Even sometimes I don't think I do.
Yeah.
It's because I'm not being disciplined on my stuff.
Exactly.
Right. All right. Let's see. Be 15 minutes early, or you're an asshole and late.
Football coach.
That's old college football rule.
Mhm.
That's applied to any high school football player.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have a lot of tolerance. Like I'll give you, like every now and again.
It's the
be
same
like
as the sleep thing.
5 times in a row. You're like now you're just kind of a dick.
Yeah. No, you're just to me you're kind of stupid.
And I
You don't know how a clock works for real. Like you can't figure that shit out.
I definitely have been yelling at a buddy, Nick Hoff, at one point. We got in a spat about it. On the road, we're just on the road too long and we're taking care of ourselves. But I was like, you think your time's more valuable than ours? Like, when you say shit like that, and you're like, fuck, that's not me.
That's not me.
But it's true.
But it is true.
It's true, right?
It is selfish.
It's a weird and I've been in the room where I'm like, all right, we got to go wheels up. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, come on,
Yeah.
we go. And he's like, I'm like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
You're
I'll go when I feel like it.
You're watching fucking Catfish. Like,
Right.
yeah, let's go. All right. Number 8, continuously improve, right? Or wait for another meme to motivate you,
Yes.
right? Like this. So, I have a real bad problem with this. I'll get to a point where I'll get through a bunch of work, and I'll kind of get content, and I'll get back into some I can kind of rest. I can kind of blah blah blah. No, you need to build on the good habits you're doing. Build on the good work you're doing.
Yeah.
Right?
There's no such thing as plateaus. It's all either you're going up or you're going down. I'm firmly believing dude, you're never going to reach your capacity. You'll always be able to do more.
Yeah.
Like that's this thing people just think they're not going to be able to do it all.
It's called the
Just do it all.
hedonistic treadmill or stair climber. You get to this is why really famous people are miserable. They get to an area, they got to this upper echelon, and they're not what they thought it was,
Right.
and so now your expectations were crazy.
Yeah.
And this is more self-reflection. I put this under that
Sure.
category, like know what you really want, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Same with number 9, as far as self-reflection. Be curious about your own life. Like, be curious in everything if you can.
Yes.
But be curious and like, all right, how am I going to kind of fix this problem? How am I going to kind of? I'm not just talking about like looking at a painting and going like, oh, I wonder what this goes
Yeah.
for. Like, Look, that's good too. That's a good curiosity. You can foster curiosity, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the hard thing. I was gonna say it's like, how do you find out what's gonna find out what you like about that thing that you're curious, or that you need to be curious
Say shit
about.
out loud, even if you're by yourself. Like, why? Why
Yeah.
is this way? A lot of people are curious. I think they stifle it. I think you get a lot of people around you that will push it down.
Yeah, I guess the better way to say it is just find out the best way that it interests you. Like, how do you need to look at this thing to make it interesting?
Yeah, I'm not even talking about like an ability to be creative or artsy. Like, I'm talking like I need to write a problem down and then try to I'm going to sit down and try to figure out this problem, even though I know zero about it.
Yeah.
Right?
We're saying the same thing. I'm just saying, how do you make yourself do that, I guess?
Well, if you
figure out how to make it
that's one way I
interesting.
do it. I write down a flex list of stuff. Like, it's not urgent, it's important, but I'll get to it kind of at nighttime when I'm fading out. So it has no due date necessarily.
Right.
But I'm like, how can we streamline this process in here?
Yeah, the podcast does fall into a lot of that area
so
where it's like
I can
bonus.
flick on my phone while I'm on the bike, like sit down bike or whatever at the gym, and kind of figure out frames per second on video and what bit rate we need for the audio and all these things that are not like super urgent, but I need to make myself be curious about learning this part.
Right.
Even though you're more of the tech and John Paul's more of a tech on this part.
No, but that's good.
I need to know it as part of the
Yeah,
team,
exactly.
too.
That's how you got to be. It's just that it's going to come up eventually.
And then act as if ... you're Mormon. We talked about this on previous episodes, servant leadership.
Right.
About the CEO of JetBlue and how he kind of expressed that servant leadership. He was the guy always trying to make things better, always had a good attitude, really followed the 10 items on the first list that we had, the meme that everybody's seen. He really followed that to a T. The deal with, I think, the Mormon guys is Howard Hughes used to hire them because they didn't steal, they didn't drink, they didn't do drugs, right?
Right.
They're hungry.
Yeah.
I think one big thing they have as an advantage, and this might be a little narrow-minded, but I don't think they have...
I ain't worried about getting too much pussy.
Well, there you go.
Is that it?
No. I was just going to let that drift. No, I don't think they have as many distractions, as many things going on.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's going to sound like that I'm making fun of them, but I'm saying...
It's not, though.
It's not that. I think they just choose a lifestyle from their religion that basically, for better or worse, you don't have a lot of exposure to everything, and a lot of us now have overload.
I feel like they're not for want. Like, they don't have the same extreme desires that a lot of, I don't know, Gentiles? That's really more in relation to the Jews.
Regular Christian.
Right.
Let's call that.
Non-Mormon. It's just like they have a better focus.
Let's call it Reg Christian.
Reg Chris.
Yeah.
Got it. But yeah, there's the distractions. Like, they don't have that. They're not coming in hungover.
Right.
They're not, they're going to bed at a regular time because they're disciplined usually.
They're not.
You have to be
saying,
disciplined.
I've
and
got
not
7
drink
wives.
caffeine.
I didn't get enough sleep.
Right.
They make it happen.
That's even crazier. That they're
That's fundamental Mormons, though. To be fair,
right.
I'd like to make fun of that and throw a flippant joke out, but the fundamental Mormon stuff is what everybody thinks about, and that's a very, 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 very small population.
Is that all 10?
That's all 10. So write shit
good.
down. Google before asking. Learn how to sleep. You're a goddamn adult. Internalize criticism first. Professional, not personal. Put your fucking phone down. Apologize correctly for your fuck-ups. Be 15 minutes early or you're an asshole and late. Continuously improve or wait for another meme like this to motivate you. Be curious, and then act as if you're Mormon.
Love it. That's a good list, buddy.
What about my sweat
Good job.
equity?
SweatEquityPod.com.
Sweat equity.
I did good!
Sweat equity. My
That's
sweat
all you
equity.
guys do, man.
My sweat equity.
That's all you guys do,